Father Gregory, I wanted to say thank you for sharing about your mother in last week's conversation. I'm also currently going through a bereavement of sorts, albeit drawn out, as my mother is slowly passing away from a neurodegenerative disease. I wondered if you had any advice or any particular reading suggestions for how a Christian can mourn well. I'm reading The Practice of the Presence of God by Brother Lawrence, and I'm not clear on what it means when he talks about offering whatever you are doing to the Lord. I recognize how much value there is to God's presence in our daily lives, but I don't understand how anything I am doing would qualify as worthy of being offered to God. Can you please provide some clarity on how we can understand this aspect of the practice? Thank you.
Sure. I don't have book recommendations that come to mind about death or mourning. Um, yeah. Um, but as to the practice of the presence of God, I think the basic idea there is that you remain in conversation with God throughout the course of your day, and that you package whatever unit of your day after the manner of a gift. And that doesn't have to be like super precious, um, or whatever, puerile. It can just be the type of thing where you just think about Jesus. And in thinking about Jesus, you introduce Jesus into the mix intentionally and then hopefully effectively. That is to say, your heart kind of leaps at the recognition that he's present to you as you're present to him. And so, as concerns, I think I was recently, I don't know if you've ever listened to the commencement speech that David Foster Wallace gave at King College maybe like 25 years ago.
Mhm.
It's called This is
No?
Water.
Mm.
Um, but I think that all of us are in a position wherein we assume we're the center of the universe. Um, and it's not like I don't attribute that to any of us by way of blame. It's just we experience our own lives most intimately. We experience our lives most personally, and we experience them from our point of view, like from our perspective. And so that's not like problematic just as a statement of fact, but it becomes problematic when we hold others to that standard, like that they ought to see the world as we do. And there are things that we can agree upon in the objective order, but there are also things where we're going to see differently in the subjective order. And I think that times of difficulty are often times in which we can find ourselves displaced from the center of our life. And that can be like really hard, but I also think it's a precious opportunity in which to place the Lord in the center. So, like when you're grieving the loss of a loved one who's dying or who dies, it's like you didn't give permission. I wasn't consulted about this, but guess what?